Patricia Jones, and I am also referring to 280 Middle Road Turnpike, what is now called Premier Care of Woodbury. And I've lived in my home 30 years. I raised 3 sons, and when it was a regular aged home, I'd have the people come into my yard with my children and have picnics. Now I had to fight like hell to get a fence put up so they can't keep crossing. They've ripped down my no trespassing signs, which the police told me to put up. They've ripped them down 3 times. I had full craniotomy. Part of my therapy is to garden, learn to focus, use my hands and properly again. And in the meantime, I walk down the hill in my own backyard with my wagon, and I hear, oh, here comes the obscenity word, obscenity word, wagon. They've called me the C word, they've called me B word, and the supposed aides, which are really babysitters, because they go out. When the police were called at one time, they put one man out front getting his hair cut, and the other girl was washing the windows, the police told me. And then as soon as the police left, no kidding, here's the aide. She says, come on, boys, come in the back, let loose. And they're all drinking. I hear it all the time, popping the the cans. And there used to be a girl there, Susan, who brought them alcohol because Benny, one of the residents, yelled at her. He says, you dumb blah, blah, blah. You brought me Johnny Walker Black instead of Johnny Walker Red. Go get me what I want. Now, granted, in the past 2 weeks, it has been much more quiet, obviously because they're in the middle of trying to sell this pedophile, rapist, methadone clinic, that a man goes every day on a livery car to get his methadone in the morning, and then in the afternoon he's down walking getting beer. The aides told, Mr. Patel told me later, after I knew that these people were who they were, that the aides are not allowed to give them medication. They're not allowed to address their medication. And I said, well, why are they? I said, how do they take it? And he said, they take it themselves. So we've got unmedicated and maybe over-medicated pill parties, who knows? All I know is I live on the border, and I am scared to death. I had a seizure after which Mr. Patel and his wife and his daughter, the salesperson out of New York, Sonia something Realty, came to my home after my craniotomy and said, oh, we're purchasing the old folks' home and we'll have nice people there. I'm thinking nice old people like deserve a home, not pedophiles, rapists, methadone addicts, and general absolute filth mouth. And the police have been there several times. I can have my window closed with my TV on, and in the summer I can hear them partying up a storm. I have asked the police and Mr. Patel, if seeing he has 15 acres or 13 acres, if he could move his patients to the front of the facility to party down by the lake or on the porch where they're still covered, but they won't. They party right there in basically in my backyard. I had to have a fence put up, and I had to fight for that. And then because they went around the fences and were stealing my for sale signs down, and I have that all documented with pictures. I had to, this last October storm, all the branches I lost, I hand-dragged them with my son to build the barrier even more, because I carry mace and a whistle with me in my yard, because I told the police that if I say stop, that means stop. You come near me, if I happen to have a shovel or a trowel, I'm going to defend myself. But I am not going to continue to live like this. I'm a wreck. I had tremors, I had seizures. I'm working very hard to, speak in public and be a functioning citizen again.
You're doing a great job.
But I have witnessed the masturbation in the woods. I have witnessed the pedophiles watching the girls play at the high school. I called the principal last year and informed her of this, if she could put out a letter for all the young girls that jog up and down the road, or some kind of information for the parents. And you know what her response was? She says, that's not my job. She says, you call the superintendent. Well, I'm Irish, and I didn't take that very well. A principal answers to the superintendent. I don't get paid to call the superintendent. It's her job to protect the students on that property. And jogging, and the children in the neighborhood now that used to come and play crafts and have fun running around the back, none of the parents will let those children come to my home because of these men, because of their foul, disgusting, constant language. And I'm sorry, but I am totally opposed to any probable making it another home like that. If they want to make it a nice old homes people again, I'm thrilled. But I will not, all of a sudden Mr. Patel, was cooperating. When
application, right, to come here.
Threats? I've received, they're yelling threats at me over the fence. I don't need this, and I won't have it. I put up watch lights so I can see them. I have to light my yard. The no trespassing sign that was closest to my barn was ripped down, and my barn is well within my property line. So they came past the fence, over the thing, ripped them all down 3 times. I called the police. Mr. Patel will not communicate with me. When I was putting up the signs, I'm sorry.
That's okay, Pat. You've done a fabulous job. You have to be commended for being a great
I'm sorry, but you cannot have these type of people running loose in the community.
Thank you.
Thank you.